Happy Tuesday, my loves, and welcome to a speed build. We are back with some more of the nostalgia project that we are working on at the minute, and I have built a cinema and bowling alley and arcade. I've called it Newcrest Cinema and Arcade because it's in the world of Newcrest on a 50 by 40 lot. So I wouldn't necessarily say this is done in any kind of like sort of decade style. I would say this just primarily looks like it could belong on one of those like leisure kind of lots that we've all got everywhere. You know what I mean in the UK. There would be a Nando's here, there would be a Bella Italia, and there would be a View Cinema. There would be all of that kind of stuff. We've all got them, I would imagine, not always. But I really wanted to put my own stamp on it because I'm sorry, but there is nothing more nostalgic to me than a cinema and arcade. I absolutely revel going to the cinema, and I always have done since I was very young. And they always had an arcade near it with a bowling alley, especially in the city that I'm from. There was one, and it's still there now. I actually went last night to watch the new Beetlejuice film. And I really wanted to build one for this kind of project. So I didn't want to do it in, as I said, in any kind of like sort of 90s style. They were always done in this kind of way that I'm doing now. There were these kind of big, vast buildings that were kind of semi-modern, really. I kind of took a lot of influence from the one that I live near. And that one was built in 1999, I think. So it was just on the cusp, really. So it still fits in with this project nicely, and it fits in even better because it is a cinema and gym. It's not a gym, Aidan, for goodness sake. A cinema, arcade, and bowling alley. And yeah, I thought it fit in really nicely. Ignore this wallpaper that I'm putting on in a minute. In the beginning, I went for this like silver sort of shiny wallpaper from Eco Lifestyle, and I decided to go against that. It just wasn't working for me. It still looks good, but I wanted to go something that looked a little bit more dated than what that does. So I used the base game panel. You'll see that a bit more once we get into building this a little bit more. So it's a vast site. It really is. It's got 2 cinema rooms, full cinema rooms. You'll see me go into there in just a second, actually, because I had to get into the interior to kind of work out how many cinema screens I could put in here. And there was only 2, really. Working with the Sims 4 limitations and scaling, as always. I couldn't do any more than that, to be honest with you. And saying that, they would never get bloody used anyway, wouldn't they? So I just wanted to do 2 of them. It's got 4 bowling alleys. It's got areas for your Sims to sit down and eat. It's got a bar area where you can get your popcorn and that from. I've put some popcorn machines and stuff there too. What else has it got? It's got a bubble tea area as well, which is upstairs. A full arcade where I've used some absolutely amazing pieces of custom content from several creators. We'll get into that a little bit more once we get into it. And a lot of them are functional. They work. They actually play the arcade games. And it's a joy to see. It really is. Using this window here and the doors, they're all from Harry's Clean collection. Again, I'm using custom content, as with the whole series I'm going to be. And they're not supposed to fit on curved walls, but they actually fit on there quite nicely. Now, the only problem I was having so much trouble with curved walls in this place. I wanted to do a bit more platforms and stuff everywhere. But downstairs, for some reason, as soon as I was putting a platform on or even drawing a wall anywhere, the whole curved wall would just disappear and it would just glitch out. So they're still as glitchy as they were on day 1, to be honest with you, which was very annoying. So this has been coming into the interior first. Don't worry, we're not finished with the exterior just yet. I just wanted to get in the cinema room first. Now, in the beginning, I was going with this kind of style here where we did kind of like single sort of like platforms, and we put chairs on them, and it wasn't working that way, so I did have to shift this room around a little bit. I had to do several things to make this work. I player tested it all before I moved on with anything else because it was really important for this cinema room to really work. So I was just getting in the basic mapping of everything first just to player test it, and it worked. It actually worked, but there was just a few things I didn't like about it, and I had to go down the route of changing it up. But you'll see that a little bit further on as well, because I do show you how we meander through this and make that look a little bit different too. So out here, loved the little like wave roof piece that we did. I really like how that kind of, I don't know, it just kind of flows, and I think it's architecturally interesting, something that you would see on these kind of like leisure sites, really. And I thought it worked really nicely. really nicely in here indeed. And of course, the all-important areas for you to come and park your cars. And I used all of the cars from Max 20's garage CC pack. I can't remember what it's called. Any new CC that I've used today, I will link down below. And that's primarily going to be the arcade stuff, because I got them from 3 different creators. So I'll leave everything linked downstairs. Downstairs? Not that. Well, I'm going to call it that from now on. Why not, you know? I'm going to link everything downstairs. Then you can toddle on down, make yourself a cup of tea, and have a cheeky look while you're there, you know? But yeah, something about an arcade loves. Even the smell and the carpets. Like, I love going into an arcade. I wish I had more time to go into an arcade, to be honest with you. I don't know. It just reminds me of a childhood, and I really wanted to portray that in this little series that we're doing. And I'm having a very good time with this series as well, by the way. I really am. So more is going to be coming. I still want to build a leisure centre with like a pool. I really want to do that. I'm going to look out for some CC for like water slides and stuff. If anybody's got any idea where I can find some of those, then feel free to let me know down below. But yeah, that's going to be coming soon as well. Leisure centre. It's probably going to have a gym next to it as well. That kind of vibe, you know? So just be on the lookout, because that will be coming. So what I'm doing now is going around and putting in as many aircon units as possible, because I put in this big ventilation system in the inside, you know, with the kind of ceiling hanging, what they called vents. There we go. The ceiling vents that came with, what pack did those come with? Was it the industrial pack? I think it was. I put them everywhere in the interior. I got inspiration actually last night when I went to see the new Beetlejuice it's called. And I was just looking around to get an inspiration from the actual cinema itself, and those were just everywhere. So I was like, right, I'm going to need to make that apparent once I get into the interiors. And that is exactly what I went and did. But yeah, it's a huge building. It really is. It would only fit on a 50 by 50 or a 50 by 40. But I actually made it a teen hangout. I made it a university student hangout as well. I just wanted a lot of young people to be drawn here, and it seems to have worked. There were a lot of teens turning up. I had a few teens myself that I brought in for the video tour and stuff, but there were still many teens turning up, and they would actually go upstairs and start playing on all those games and machines and stuff. So that was really cool. I'm so glad that that happened. Because I was a bit worried that they were just going to be, no, not doing that. They don't go and freely watch the cinema screens, but if you've got a big group of you can all go in and sit down. They tend to sit on the first row or the 2 rows. They don't really tend to go and sit at the back, because I don't think that, I don't know, the coding allows for that. But yeah, stunning. These lights here, I wanted like this really nice kind of array of colours on the outside. So I used these LED strip lights, and I changed them all different colours. I don't think we do it now. I think I do it once I get on a bit further. I can't remember. Well, maybe I do. Maybe I do. But yeah, I just thought these were really effective, and I actually used them in the interior as well. Maybe this is kind of the mark of their branding or something, this company that owns this space. So that was my thought process behind it. So here we are into the actual interiors now. So you'll see me get to work on making this work a lot better. And what I do is have a stairway going kind of in the middle. It's not exactly perfect. There's a bit bigger on one side than the other, but that's fine. I wanted it that way. And that works so much better, because the seats all sit on there and it just looks great. You can see that I've already done it in the other room, because I wanted to kind of test it to see how it worked. And then I'm showing you now how I actually did it. These chairs here as well. Oh, I cannot remember the creator. I'm so sorry, but I will leave it down below. They were an old piece of CC actually. They were, I think they were around 10 years old, but they were just the perfect cinema seat. They had little cup holders and stuff in them, so I absolutely litter these everywhere. I really do, and it just works out really nice. I hope one day, I know we've got movie hangout stuff, but I would love a proper cinema pack. I think it would be so cool if we could have big, huge cinema screens without having to size everything up, and you know, I would like that. I really, really would. But going for very much a red vibe in here as well with the carpets and stuff. I always remember dark red carpets in all of the older cinemas that I was going to when I was younger, you know. So yeah, and they always had these lights, didn't they, on the stairs, so you could see where you were walking. If you had to go and get a drink or have a wee mid-film. Yeah, beautiful job. And I thought it really works as well. Like this whole room came together quite easily. It's double story height, medium height walls, both of them. But I wanted to have a darker kind of like feel to it as well. So I get rid of the ceiling lights. I've only got them in at the minute so you can see what I'm doing. I put a projector screen up at the back as well, or a projector, sorry, up on the back wall. And then I used that cupboard that came with Lovestruck to make it look like it's the kind of media room or whatever you would call it in a cinema, where they kind of change over the films and stuff. That probably doesn't happen so much nowadays because I would imagine it's all done kind of robotically, maybe. I don't know. I have no idea, but I wouldn't imagine they're in there changing film rolls. I have no idea. I could be wrong in that as well, but yeah, that's what I do, and I just thought it really worked. But you'll see that a little bit further on, maybe, or do I do it now? I cannot remember. I even put speakers up on the side of the walls and stuff as well to make it look like that's the kind of surround sound in the cinema, and it was all working rather deliciously. Really was. No one was coming in and having random dances, which is always nice because that would ruin a film, wouldn't it, to be honest with you? But yeah, really nicely. But yeah, this is what I do. I put the projector up on top of a shelf at the back of the actual theatre itself. And then a bit further on, I actually put a room behind it and just use that kind of janitor closet to make it look like it's a room you go into and, you know, and you're in there changing films or whatever. Changing the role. I can't imagine that would happen. But again, I could be wrong. Maybe not everything is digital, but who knows, you know? But yeah, I just thought this really worked. And this was the only way I could do it, having the scale that we've got in The Sims and have it look as realistic as possible, was doing those double height walls. And it still worked as far as I'm concerned. But here we are down here as well. We're going into the bowling alley now. I really wanted this nice big area for your Sims to come and do bowling. I'm not really a bowling fan, to be honest with you. It doesn't really excite me all that much. If anything, it just frustrates me, to be honest with you. But I still wanted to have one here because it's nostalgic for me, you know. This is me thinking, what am I going to be doing here? How am I going to be figuring this out? I actually end up, I think I extend the room out, or have I already done that? I have no idea. No, this is what I do. I knew what I was doing. I changed the tables, I think, because that shape just wasn't working with me. I wanted every single bowling lane to have an area for you to come and sit down as well. Now, I always remember having food when you were bowling, when you used to go to birthday parties at the bowling alleys, and it was always like chicken and chips in a basket, wasn't it? Chicken and chips in a basket, and then you go and get sweaty in Quasar, which is like laser tag, would you call it anywhere else? Did anybody remember doing that game? Thrilling, as far as I'm concerned. My childhood found that thrilling. It really did. I had a blast doing that game. Really did. Well, does that even exist anymore? No idea. No idea. It's definitely not in the bowling alley in my town anymore, I don't think. Could be. But yeah. Well, that was a tangent, wasn't it? Bloody hell. But yeah, I still wanted an area for your Sims to come and sit down and eat. If they've got some food, then they can sit and eat it here. But I always remember birthday parties like that. It was always chicken and chips in a basket. And by basket, I don't mean just like this random wicker basket or anything, loves. It was just, yeah, you know. I think you know. If you know, you know, as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, this whole area worked really nicely in gameplay as well. I managed to get 8 separate Sims playing the like bowling alleys at one time, so it just looked really cool. You'll see that in the video tour at the end as well. But the thing I was most surprised with was the arcade machines themselves. Like, those pieces of custom content were so good. They're so good. Even like they've got a dance machine, they've got like the claw machine. What else have they got? They got pinball machines, they got the basketball hoop like throwing thing. It was just great, and I was really surprised. I thought it was not going to be functional, and I was like, oh my god, you can actually play them. Didn't know that. So kudos to the creators who made them, because they were incredible. I had a ball. I was in here for a good hour with my Sims, just playing around, just seeing how everything worked. It just looks like a proper like pack, to be honest with you. It really did. Now, this little area out here, I wanted an area where you could obviously get your shoes and you can get your bowling ball from, but I also wanted this area to be like a bit more of a seating area as well in one of the entrance area themselves. So that's what I do with this area. I just put some nice sofas and stuff out here. and it just really worked really nicely. And some vending machines as well. Nice row of vending machines. I always remember a vending machine in my arcades and cinemas. And I used to collect these like little plastic turtle things, and they used to have a vending machine specifically for them. I don't know if any of you 80s or 90s kids remember them. They were like these little tortoises, not turtles, and they all had different outfits and stuff on. And I remember a vending machine just dedicated to them, and I used to always try it, and I always used to get duplicates and get fuming about it. But yeah, look at us on our little nostalgia roll. We really are. We really bloody are, especially with that red carpet. That is an in-game carpet. Same with the lights as well. I use a lot of in-game items in here as well. So if you want to download this and you don't want to use custom content, you can literally swap out very few things, to be honest with you. I only stick with CC for a few of the items and stuff in here. But this is where we start doing that little venting system now. These kind of areas would need good ventilation, because you imagine the farts and everything coming from all the people that are in here, you know? It just wouldn't be for me. So I made sure to get this absolutely everywhere. So it's not this nice big system going all the way through, and it's really effective as well. It looks kind of the part, looks very much the part. Yeah, very nice indeed. But anyway, how are you? Not even asked that. How rude of me. How are you? Hope you're all okay. I've got several videos coming this week. Unsure about tomorrow just yet. Tomorrow's video might be a little bit later than normally planned, so you're just gonna have to bear with me on tomorrow's video, because I haven't finished it yet, and I need to get it finished before I get it up. So I don't know what time I'm going to be able to get it finished for, so just be patient, my darlings. This year I had to change slightly. I used the two backdrops that came with I think that was Love Struck, wasn't it? Yeah. And then I used the counters here, the mirrored ones from Tuds. But when I player tested this lot, they would not go and use the popcorn machine. So I had to pull the counters out just a little bit so they would go in and use it. But I just love this circular bar area here. I would imagine this is where you come and get all your popcorn and stuff. And I just like it. And that's right on the bottom floor as well. So you can walk straight through. You can get your tickets and that there as well. Mostly today, we don't really have ticket booths in the UK. It's all done online, or they've got these kind of like sort of kiosks available, these touchscreen kiosks. We don't really, not in the cinema that I go anyway. They don't really have any kind of manned cinema, ticket areas. That statue up there, the reason I put that up there is maybe there's some kind of film. That area there gets used to kind of advertise like a film. They bring in a little bit of, I don't know, set or something there. I know that they do that in the cinema where I live quite a bit. They put like big statues or even just like big billboards kind of advertising it, but we don't really have much like that apart from the city living ones. And I tried them. I even tried to size them down to see what it would look like, and it just looked a bit naff. So I went for that instead. So this is up on the top floor, is it? Yeah, this is up on the top mezzanine level. I've mezzanined the actual the ground floor from the first floor, where the curved moment is. All of that there is mezzanine. My god, I can't get my words out today. And yeah, looks good. And then up here I was like, I want something a little bit more substantial rather than just a bar up here. So I go for a bubble tea vendor area up here where you can go and buy your bubble teas and whatnot. I just thought it kind of fit in with this whole area. I was going to do like a little ice cream area up here, but I decided against it and I just went for a bubble tea one. And then I did either side of this mezzanine level. I did seating areas up on top of these bar stools, and I just thought it really worked. I thought it really worked rather nicely. And yeah, sorry I keep saying so much as well today. Honestly, my brain is fried at the minute. So you're just going to have to excuse me. That's my kind of filler word. And I think we've all noticed that by now, for goodness sake. But yeah, very nice. Love those curved sofas as well. I think they are from Felixander down in the curved area. But yeah, I thought they fit in there really nicely. And then I put these posters around just to advertise all the films and stuff that may be showing. And yeah, very nice. Both levels as well, all got toilets. I do smaller toilets upstairs or downstairs. I think I do the smaller ones downstairs, separate cubicles downstairs, and then upstairs, what you can see off to the right now, is going to be a big bathroom that I use the kind of toilet stalls from university. And it bloody worked, loves it. Really did. I was very, very happy with it. very happy with the whole outcome of this as well. What I was more happy with was seeing it in gameplay. I loved the actual build of it. I did. I thought, I don't know, it looked real or realistic enough to me. But it was the gameplay that I loved. Just seeing all of these Sims turn up and go up to the arcade and things. It was good because you don't get to see that very often with kind of builds that aren't necessarily in the build catalog for the Sims, you know, like a gym, blah 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 blah. If you do something a little bit off cuff, sometimes they don't use everything. But this here, with those arcade things, I was so happy that they came and used it. It really was. Really bloody was indeed. And that's where we get off to in a second. What am I going? Oh, I'm going around putting bins everywhere. Look at me, making sure that I'm keeping everything nice and tidy. There's the 3 little toilets downstairs. I actually do them off of camera. And yeah, very nice indeed. So this is the toilet upstairs, or the bathroom upstairs. Make sure you can get 4 cubicles in there as well, which is nice. And I do it all in the black tile as well, because that was exactly how the toilets were in the cinema near me. So that's why I did it. Yes, I did. Very, very happy with how this came out. So it is quite modern, really. It is. But I don't know. The cinemas always felt modern to me anyway. Apart from the original one that I used to go to, there was a cinema called Odeon in my city, and it was in like this real Art Deco building. And I always remember it had like a model of a ship, like sort of built into the wall of it at the top. It was so cool. I think the building is still there, but it's not a cinema anymore. I think it's a casino now. So there you go. The more you know, you know. There we go. I actually derp out here and forget to move that hand dryer back, and I'm using quotation marks when I say hand dryer. But I don't worry, I see it off of camera and I actually do that. So there we go. So here we are to the exciting bit. Now, I do put lots of lighting in here to begin with, just so we can see where we're putting things. This is a dance machine. Your Sims will get on this and they will dance. Let me just say that. I actually only could do 2 here because I put them way too close together. I didn't know how everything was going to be working. So yeah, I end up getting rid of one of those. These are, I don't know what they're called. You throw the balls in the hole. There you go. And these are the basketball hoop ones as well. So I put several of these out as well. And the animations from all of them are so good. Absolutely amazing. So the creators that made all of this like content are Seriously Sims, Sepsid, and Simadream. All separately as well, I think. I think there was a few recolors of stuff here and there too. But I will leave a link to all of the stuff that I've used. These are the little like arm grabber machine things. I think if you've used custom content for a while, you would have seen this pack. I've never seen this pack in my life, and I was amazed by it. I really was, and I couldn't believe how old it was either. Gumball machines, you can actually go and get little gum, like pieces of gum out of these. I always remember them as well. This is pinball machines, honestly. And this area up here as well is on a mezzanine, so you can look over as we're doing now, and you can see down into the bowling alley below. Just thought that was really nice. And these are all arcade machines, and they've all got different games on them, and you can match the games in with the swatches. I actually go through and do that as well, and I try my best to match them in as best as possible. But your Sims will actually come up to these and play a game. It's just so bloody cool. I was seriously impressed. And this is like a whack-a-mole thing as well. I forgot about this. They actually pop up and your Sims like actually hit them. Just what? Where did that come from? Do you know what I mean? Where has this been all my life? That's what I would like to know. Using the arcade, like multiplayer arcade machine as well, there's been a recolor of one, and I forgot to put a TV in there in the beginning. You actually have to go in and put a screen in that one, and I did forget to do that, but I have remembered. These as well, slot machines, they actually play on these too. It was just, I was enthralled. I was honestly, I was seriously bloody impressed, especially, as I said, when I got into the gameplay aspect of it. Just so much for your Sims to do up here, and the music as well up here proper makes you feel like you're in an arcade. It was just really loud, and everyone was like, it was very clever indeed. I was very impressed. Oh, very impressed indeed. And I ended up just going around and putting a few more decorative pieces, like these little pixelated neon signs everywhere. Honestly, I was so impressed, and I'm still impressed now just looking back at it. And then going in and putting more of the venting in as well. So this would be an area where you would need to vent out all the farts, wouldn't you, to be honest with you? So I made sure to do that up here as well. And yeah, I do that all the way around, and I think I even recorded the whole thing. So lucky you get to see it all. But you can see I've kind of darkened down the room now. I've just put in those base game spotlights that go in the ceiling that you can face in one direction. Because arcades to me were always this kind of had a darker aesthetic to it. The lights were always off. I predominantly went in the nighttime as well to these arcades with my friends and things like that. So in the video tours that night, just wanted to have that proper feeling, you know. So yeah, let me know your memories of going to the cinema and the arcades. What was the first film you ever went to the cinema to see? Mine was Snow White back in 1935. Well, the age I'm getting, I'm not surprised. But no, my auntie took me to see Snow White. I always remember that, and it was amazing. Loved it. Still one of my favourite Disneys to this day, may I add. I shall not, however, be watching the live action to it because I've kind of given up on those live actions now. They're just not for me. Not for me at all. But yeah, and then as I said, into the interior as well, I wanted to get those neon lights in here. And you'll see them change colour as well. So you'll see what the colour kind of like formation that I went with. I think it was like a pink and orangey sort of peachy colour and a green. And it just really added something. And it brought another little aspect of light and interest into that kind of voided space for the mezzanine level. You can see I put small little windows above it as well, just to try and let in a little bit of natural daylight. None of these places really had windows. They had front doors and that was about it. But, you know, it's The Sims. I'm getting creative, and that's indeed what I did. And it worked. It really worked. So you're not going to see me change all of these. I definitely didn't record myself doing all of this, but I go around with the tool mod. You're able to change everything in real time, which I think that is a feature they should add into game, to be honest with you. But yeah, I just really liked the outcome of it at the end. See the colours, it just brings something, I think. I love it. Very, very proud of it, I am. So yeah, got more of these kind of builds coming up. And then as I was thinking, I was like, oh, bike park, we're going to need somewhere. These were a few last little details that I wanted added in. So one of them being an area for you to come park your bike so you can go into the cinema or the arcade or what have you. And then another, I needed to go through and put in some like fire exit signs and fire extinguishers and that kind of stuff. So that's what I did. Yes. Anyway, I'm going to stop waffling on now. You're going to go and watch a video tour, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye.
Wow.